Hello, pirates. I'm good here today to talk about the ship I've been using, and I had a lot of people ask me on my stream, ask me about my build and how quickly I can kill these bosses and how they can do it. And I said, I'm trying to get started with Skull and Bones, so let me start posting videos, try to help some people out. I realize that it's beneficial. Not much of a content creators out here for this game in particular, and I know there's a lot of people that enjoy it. So I'm hoping that I can to help these people and help these players and pirates or whatever you want to call them and help them progress in this game. So if you want to melt convoys and dominate bosses and bully anything that crosses your path in Skull and Bones, this build's for you. I call it Toxic Torpedo. So here we go. Let's get right into the ship. The ship, of course, is the Blighter. It's the Sloop of War build, and we're going to go through the talents on this and kind of break it down for you the best we can. So it's got Playbringer. Maximize it out, upgrade it all the way. With Playbringer, when attacking an enemy ship under the poison status effect, increase the poison status effect damage by 6% and duration by 20% for each consecutive hit, up to 30% damage and 100% duration. Each weapon hit has a chance to cause an explosion of 300 meters on a poison target, which deals 1,000 toxic damage to enemies. And this is why it's really good against convoys. Increase toxic weapon damage by 20% and poison charge rate by 150%. Spite. When attacking an enemy ship under the poison status effect, the enemy ship deals 50 toxic damage per second to nearby targets within 300 meters. So again, for convoys, this is just it's a disruptor. It's all you need. For 10 seconds, decreases damage received from targets affected by the poison status effect by 30%, which is everything you freaking touch. So that's why it's a tank ship for me. Like, I don't die in the ship. Not that you can't die, but I don't die in the ship. So let's get right into the build of what I'm using. I'll tell you why I'm using it. So let's get to the ship's loadout. Start with the armor. So with the armor, the Nocturne Heart, because this build is really maximizing DPS, and that's what I aim for. And of course, you roll double maintenance on here. That's very important on any armor you use. I think that no one should not have double maintenance on their armor, and that's just my opinion. But helps me a lot, especially with Vikram, not being able to out heal his poison or whatnot. So this has increases weapon damage by 15% while whole health is above 75%. That's why it's important that we stay far away. That's why it's important that we are a little bit tanky. And that's another reason why this build is good, because we're already getting an extra 15% from that with all the poison effects from the actual ship. This is a lot of damage. This ship pumps out a ton of damage. So let's get right into the weapons. On my front, and I'll tell you how I attack, so that way you can kind of follow. So I'll go and tell you with the port. I got the Blightbringers. Let's start with the port because I don't really use that too much unless something's crossing my left side, but I'm not really using it. And then on my stern, I have another Blightbringer, and really just because they're toxic weapons. It was simple, it was easy. Same thing for the LeFleur. Like, it's just a toxic weapon. Nothing really special with this, but what this is all for is probably to start with the where I'll be shooting from first. Exactly where I'm shooting from first is my bow. Like, say I'll go to a boss fight, and the very first shot I take is with the Dahaka. And I take this shot because once armed, torpedoes increase speed by 100% and penetrate through target ships. Torpedoes also reduce armor by 200 for 10 seconds. Gotta stay tanky. I gotta stay alive. So I try to hit this bow shot every 10 seconds or so, if need be, especially against like the bigger bosses. But with small bosses, I usually just hit them one time with this, and I pretty much get rid of them. I delete them in like 5 seconds. I would say 5 to 10 seconds, and I'll show you. But I always take this shot first. That's why it's on my bow. Not really how many you're shooting at it. You just got to touch it with it, basically. And I'll go right to my starboard because this is where all the damage is coming from. And this is a toxic ship, so it's very important to make this a toxic weapon. The Rama's Legacies. And if you don't know, now you're going to know. So this talent here deals an increasing amount of damage for every hit simultaneously. Every time you hit with this, back to back to back, you just keep increasing damage. Along with that toxic, all that multiplicative damage, you're just shredding bosses. It's not even fair. It's like you're a full group, but it's just you. It's just you, and you were just melting anything. It doesn't matter what it is. Convoy, bosses, I don't care if it's Vikram, whoever, whatever, this ship is the answer. Okay? So let's go right to the furniture. I'm going to keep this short and sweet because really there's nothing to it. probably the easiest build I've ever put together. I start with a major furniture. That's a siphon furnace. I think that goes without saying. I think with this poison ship, this is probably one of the most important pieces on the ship, besides the Rama's Legacies. But this is why. If the target is poison, which it will be, increases damage of toxic weapons by 10%, increases projectile speed by toxic weapons by 12%, increases maximum range of toxic weapons by 10%. There you go. I mean, self-explanatory. You need this. If you don't have it, get it. If you can't get it, join my stream. Any of these pieces. If you don't have any of these things, join my stream. We'll do giveaways every evening that we're streaming, and hopefully you're one of the lucky contestants and you can win something, and we can give you a piece of furniture that you don't have because you missed the season, and because this game doesn't have anything that come back around to allow you to have a chance of getting these things, which they should add that, by the way. I know it's talks with certain people in the community, and I'm hoping that they keep talking about it because they need that. They really, really need that, because it's not fair to people that come here late and they weren't on Halloween, or they didn't play Skull and Bones, and they're missing out on a lot of things. So on slot number 2, I use the torpedo grinder because it increases my projectile speed. Again, I'm doing everything from far away, far distances, 200 meters, and I want those things to hit quick. I don't want the ship to move out the way. So I got the more speed I have, the better. Okay. My third piece would be the tuner rack, pretty much for the same reason. It increases my speed. Okay, it reduces the arm and distance of torpedoes by 25%, but it increases maximum range of torpedo by 14%. So this is a good piece. And honestly, you could sub this piece out. This is a subbable piece, but it really depends on your play style at that point and how comfortable you are at certain ranges. And is it, it really depends on how you built things up and all that. So on slot 4, I use Torpedo Works because it increases the damage of the secondary, which is my toxic, which is everything for this build and means everything to this build is that toxic damage. You can literally choose something and get caught up with other ships attacking you, and you turn around and whatever you were shooting at is just dead. So this is by far the second, well, it's probably the most important piece. And this is one you might not have. But if you don't have it, we have extras. Like I said, join the stream, come watch. And we'll give away as many of these as we can to help people out. Damage dealt with flooding weapons over 200 meters. 200 meters. That's why we tagged so far away. Increases flooding damage by 13% for 10 seconds. For every 1% increased projectile speed of weapons through bonuses, increases flooding damage of those weapons by 1%. So I'll go over that again because I kind of skipped it, but I put flooding damage on my main Ramas. And this is why, because I try to maximize as much flooding damage, as much toxic damage, and it's just, like I said, multiplicative damage at the same time. These hits are crazy. On slot 6 is my tuning station, increases secondary damage of torpedo by 20%, increases projectile speed of torpedo by 13%, and reduces 10% crew stamina, which we don't really care about that too much, but sometimes it helps. Sometimes I have been able to use my crews, but that's not what this build's about. It's all about the torpedo. It's all about the distance. It's all about the poison. It's all about the flooding, and that is it. And that's why these pieces are together. But as I said, slot 2, I could probably, or slot 3, I could do without. I could go somewhere else with it. I'm just, kind of still testing, but so far so good. This build has worked great. I can kill anything that's not flying. I can kill anything that's not a tower, okay? I will say, don't take this to Megafort unless you're just planning on killing ships, because you are not doing shit to the Megafort. Okay, so that's the build. And like I said, we're going to call it Toxic Torpedo. And I hope you enjoy and hope you can build it. And like I said, join the stream. We're doing giveaways all the time, whether that be plates, whether that be furniture you missed out on, or whether that be anything you missed out on. We got extras of everything. We try to help the community out because we want it to grow. I think the more this community can grow, the better for the game, because I think it's overall a really good game. All right, guys. No comms out.